2 households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these 2 foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 3-part traffic of our web series, the which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
But this quarrel is between our masters and us their men.
'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be civil with the maids. I will cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids?
Aye, the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads. Take it in what sense thou wilt.
Oh, they must take it in the sense that feel it.
Me they shall feel while I am able to stand, and 'tis known I am a pretty piece of flesh.
What? Try thy tool. Here comes the house of Montagues.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin.
I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare. I will bite my thumb at them, which is disgrace to them if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Eso no es lo que preguntó. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law of our side if I say I?
No.
No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir. But I bite my thumb, sir.
Mira estos pendejos.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
But if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better.
Part fools! Put up your swords, you know not what you do.
What? Art thou drawn among these heartless hinds?
Look out!
Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me.
Drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word as I hate hell, all Montagues and thee. Have at thee, coward!
Beat them down! Beat them down! Beat them down!
What noise is this? Give me my long sword! Oh!
Crouch! A crutch I call you for a sword!
My sword, I say!
Thou villain, Capulet, hold me not! Let me go!
Thou shalt not stir 1 foot to seek a foe.
Rebellious subject, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor's stated steel. Will you not hear? But oh, you men, you beasts! On pain of torture, from those bloody hands throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls bred of an airy word by thee, old Capulet and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me. And Montague, come you this afternoon to know our farther pleasure in this case. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew. Were you by when it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more, and fought on part and part, till the prince came who parted either part.
Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you her today? Right glad I am she was not at this fray.
Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth through the golden window of the east, so early walking did I see your daughter. There, underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city side.
Many a morning hath she there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning's dew, adding to clouds, more clouds with her deep sighs.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know it nor can learn of her.
See where she comes, so please you step aside. I'll know her grievance or be much denied. Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But news struck 9.
Aye, me. Sad hours seem long. Was that my father that just went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love?
Out.
Of love.
Out of her favor where I am in love.
Alas, that love, so gentle in her view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to her will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, oh brawling love, oh loving hate, oh anything of nothing first create. This love I feel, that feels no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, cause I rather weep.
Good heart, at what?
At thy good heart's oppression.
Why such is love's transgression. Griefs of my own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of my own. Farewell, my coz.
Soft, I will go along. And if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
Tut, I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo, she's some otherwhere.
Tell me in sadness, who is that you love?
In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aimed so near when I supposed you loved.
A right good markman, and she's fair, I love. She has forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead, and live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me, forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers exquisite in question more. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell, thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine, or else die in debt.
But Montague is bound as well as I, in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying o'er what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world.
Younger than she, our happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest. Come, go with me. Go, sirrah, trudge about through fair Verona. Find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Find them out whose names are written here? I must to the learned.
Take thou some new infection to thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
I pray, sir, can you read?
I, mine own fortune in my misery.
Perhaps you have learned it without book, but I pray, can you read anything you see?
I, if I know the letters and the language.
You say honestly. Rest you merry.
Stay, fellow. I can read. Signor Martineau and his wife and daughters, and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vertuvio and his lovely Mercutio and his brother Valentine, Capulet, wife my fair niece Rosalind, Signor Valentino and his cousin Tybalt, and the lively Helena. A fair assembly. Whither should they come?
Up.
Whither? To supper?
To our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked thee that before.
Now, I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great rich Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
At the same ancient feast of Capulets sups the fair Rosalind whom thou so loves with all the other admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
One fairer than my love. The all-seeing sun ne'er saw her match since the first world begun. I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me. Now bind my maidenhead at 12-year-old. I bade her come. What lamb, what ladybird? God forbid. Where's this girl? What Juliet?
How now, who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I am here. What is your will?
Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honor that I dream not of.
An honor? Were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou hadst sucked wisdom from thy teat.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady. Lady, such a man as all the world. Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower. In faith, a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast, read o'er the volume of young Paris's face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris's love?
I'll look to like, if looking liking move. But no more deep will I endart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Madam, the guests are come, supper served up. You called, my young lady asked for, the nurse cursed in the pantry, and everything in extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee. Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girl. Seek happy nights to happy days.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Todos vamos a bailar. Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground, I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in it, should you burden love, too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in.
Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in but every man betake him to his legs.
Sí, vámonos.
And we mean well going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep while they do dream things true.
Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomi over men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinner's legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, her traces of the smallest spider web, her collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her wagoner a small gray-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut made by the joiner squirrel or old grub, and in this state she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. This is she who—
Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talkest of nothing.
True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air and more inconstant than the wind.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves.
Para de soplar.
Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
I fear too early for my mind misgives some consequences yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revels and expire the term of a despised life closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen.
Strike drum.
Ahora vamos a festejar.
Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will walk about with you. Ah, my mistresses, which of you all will now deny to dance? Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that I have worn a mask same, and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. Ah, 'tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen.
Uncle, that is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it? More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up.
'Tis she, that villain Romeo.
Content thee, gentle cause. Let her alone. And quench the fire. The room is grown too hot.
I'll not endure her.
She shall be endured. Am I the master here or you? Go to. You'll not endure her. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. Ha ha! Welcome!
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to, go to. You are a saucy boy. Is it so indeed? I'll make you quiet. Come, musicians, play!
I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall.
Oh, Gregory, I didn't expect to see you here. Nurse, we're still needed in the pantry. Shall we have another round?
What lady is that? My heart love till now, forswear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night. If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: my lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips, and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips, by thine, my sin is purged.
Then have my lips the sin that they have took.
Sin from my lips? Oh, trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
Kissed by the
Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
What is her mother?
Marry Romeo. Her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked withal.
She a Capulet? Oh, dear account, my life is my foe's debt.
Away, begone! The sport is at the best.
Aye, so I fear. the more is my unrest.
Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling foolish banquet towards. Is it e'en so? Why then, I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night. Sirrah, by my fay, it waxes late. I'll to my rest.
Come hither, nurse. What is yon gentlewoman?
Her name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only daughter of your greatest enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate, too early seen, unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
Romeo! My cousin Romeo! Romeo!
She is wise, and on my life hath stolen her home to bed.
She ran this way and leapt this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo! Humors!
She hath hid
Madman!
herself among these
Passion!
trees to be consorted with the humorous knight.
Come, shall we go?
Go then, for 'tis in vain to seek her here that means not to be found.
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. It is my lady, oh, it is my love, oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
She speaks.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were she not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which she owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word.
What one art thou that thus be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of thy tongue's utterings, and yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
These orchard walls are high and hard to climb.
With love's light wings did I perch these walls.
If my kinsmen see thee, they will murder thee.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love that first did prompt me to inquire.
Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou mayst prove false. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon I vow that tips with silver all these fruit treetops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all. Or if thou wilt, swear by the gracious self which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love...
Well, do not swear, although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden. Good night. Good night, as sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
the exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it thee again. And yet I wish for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Madam?
I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Blessed night, I am afeard being in night. All this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee. Where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my love, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon! But if thou meanest not well, I do beseech
Madam!
By and by I come! To cease thy strife and leave me to my grief, tomorrow will I send.
So strive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light.
What o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
By the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 year till then. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it may morrow.
The gray-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light. Now, ere the sun advances burning eye, the day to cheer, a night's dank dew to dry, I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juiced flowers. Ah, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, stones, and their true qualities. Within the infant rind of this weak flower, poison hath residence and medicine power. 2 such opposed kings encamp them still in man as well as herbs, grace and rude will. And where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up the plant.
Good morrow, father.
Ah! What early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young one, thy earliness doth me assure thou art uproused with some distemperature, or if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin! Was thou with Rosalind?
With Rosalind, my ghostly father? No, I have forgot that name and that name's woe.
That's good, that's good. But where hast thou been, then?
I'll tell thee ere thou ask it me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy.
Be plain, good daughter, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed, and made exchange of vow, I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosalind that thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young one's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Lo, here upon thy cheek the stain doth sit of an old tear that is not washed off yet. And art thou changed?
Thou chidest me off for loving Rosalind.
For doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
And badest me bury love.
Not in a grave to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide me not. Her I love now doth grace for grace, and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Oh, she knew well thy love did read by rote that could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect I'll thy assistant be, for this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence. I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came she not home tonight?
Not to her father's. I spoke with her, man.
Why, that same pale, hard-hearted wench, that Rosalind, torments her so that she will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman to old Capulet, hath sent a letter to her father's house.
A challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Anyone that can write may answer a letter.
Nay, she will answer the letter's master. How she dares, being dared.
Alas, poor Romeo, she is already dead, stabbed through the ear with a love song. And is she one to encounter Tybalt?
Why? What is Tybalt?
Oh, more than Prince of Cats. Oh, he's the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. He rests his minim rests 1, 2, and the third in your bosom. The very butcher of a silk button. A duelist. A duelist.